to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your first time stopping by. Today we are going to continue working on our image out of Fragile World by Kerby Rosanes that we started in Tuesday night's live stream. And we were working on the koala bear page. Bring this over a little. And in case you didn't catch the live stream, we did this with words are hard, can't talk today. Faber-Castell gelatos for the background, and we applied those dry. And then on the leaves, the trees, and the koala bears, I based all of that with the Sargent Art watercolor crayons, and then activated those. Now, after the live stream was over, I did do a little work. Go ahead and start a little bit of the work with pencils, like I've done. I've worked on the mama koala's ears, and I've done a few leaves over here, but we're gonna do a little bit of everything on camera today. We're not going to do every single bit of the whole thing on camera. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do some things, and then I'll pause the video and I will go off and finish coloring in the rest of those items off camera and come back. And that way, by the time we get to the last element and I go off screen and finish it, I'll come back on and you will get to see the whole thing done and how it looks. I think that might work out a little better, and that way you won't be incredibly bored with watching me do every single leaf on this page, everything. So yeah, I think that will work out better. So what I'm going to be using is a couple of different brands of pencils. So for the trees and the leaves, I've picked out some color combinations in the Spear Farben pencils. And then for the koala bears themselves, I have a color combination in the Posca pencils. And I have some extra pencils laying here because I was using these Poscas to work on another image earlier today. So we will get started. Let me get things situated just a little bit over here and we'll get going. So there's that. Okay, I think what we're gonna work on first is some of these tree branches. So I'm probably gonna start with the one behind the koalas first, because it's the largest one. It's pretty large. So I'm gonna do at least this section here, and then I might show you one of the skinnier branches too. I'm not sure yet. We will see. Let me zoom you in a little, adjust my book so that hopefully you can see better. All right. So the colors that I picked for the tree branches, excuse my big old arm reaching in the way, is a dark brown, espresso, honey brown, and maple. These are the colors I'm going to use on the tree branches. So I'm going to start with my darkest color, dark brown. And I'm going to pay a lot of attention to the line work that Kerby has drawn here for us, because Kerby is really good about areas that would be due to be in shadow more, having a lot more line work there. So that's one thing about his artwork that makes it a little, I don't really want to say easier, but I don't know. It's helpful that he does that. I'll just say it that way. It's very helpful that he does it, because when I first started trying to color Kerby's work, when I first got his books, I absolutely adored his books, but I was really intimidated to even try to color anything of his, because it just seemed so detailed and everything. But then once I started to color it, and I realized, you know, how his line work and stuff was, it helped me feel a little bit more comfortable, I guess is the word. But yeah, so I'm just going along with this darkest color, and where there is the most kind of like line work and stuff, I'm putting a little bit of this darkest color in and kind of blending it out a little bit. And of course, where anything goes in front of it, it's gonna have a little bit more shadow there also, so be adding a little bit in there. And I am going to be leaving some of that base layer visible. So, also, because we did base this with the Sargent Art watercolor crayons. So I don't want to completely cover everything up. I just want to get some shadow and stuff on here that you would find. The way that I always tend to do things is I'll start with my darkest color first and work my way to my lightest. But by all means, however you prefer to color is how you should color. Whatever works best for you. I've tried going from light to dark, and I just can't get the results that I like that way. But I know a lot of people do, and they do gorgeous things, gorgeous work doing it that way. I'm just going over the colors I've put down already and expanding that out. And that's about it. And now this is my lightest color, which is the maple. And I'll bring this in closest to that, the base layer, like I may have to play with this a little bit and tweak it some. Go back over some areas with my darker colors. do that. So the dark brown, I'm gonna go back in with it and deepen up some of this in here. Just to give it a little bit more contrast between the light and the dark. I think my neighbor's outside doing some yard work. Hear a lawnmower. Alright. Let's see. I think I'm gonna leave that like that for now. I may play with it a little bit more later. See me back it out a little bit so you can kind of see. So that is that one, and let me look for a second here. I think we will do maybe this little skinny one here, or maybe just this one here. Yeah. Okay. Zoom back in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this dark brown. First, I'm gonna give it a sharp one real quick. All right. So I'm gonna. All the line work seems to be mainly along this one edge, so that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna blend it out. Sorry if you hear the noise. All right, and then I'm gonna go over top of that with my espresso. And then honey brown. And then lastly, the maple. I do want to try to leave a little hint of that underneath color on the edge. So that's how I'm gonna do all of the tree branches, and I'm gonna go ahead and pause and go off camera and get all of those done, and then I'll come back and we'll start on something else. I'll see you in a little bit. Zoom back out first. Okay, and I'll be back. Okay, I've done about half of the branches and I'm back, and I'm going to do the other half on camera and speed it up and set it to music. So, I don't know why I didn't just do that from the beginning, but you know. Anyway, here we go. We're back and we're gonna work on the leaves now. So what I have pulled for those are, again with the Spear Farben, I have eucalyptus tree, cypress tree, and olive green, if you can see that. And I'm gonna do some with you. I'll do some sped up, set to music, and then some I'll do off camera because there's just so many leaves on this page. I probably won't do them all sped up and set to music, but I will do some of them that way. But first we'll do what we can. Sorry about the noise. I'm gonna zoom you in a little so that you can hopefully see better. Now what I've been doing, because I started doing some on here already, if you can see this a little bit down here, is what I've been doing, the way I've been doing them is wherever the watercolor crayon is the darkest on the leaf is where I'm going to put the shadow, and then work out from there. So give me just a second. All right, so like for instance this one, there's some darker here, so I'm going to start with my eucalyptus tree, and I'm going to put some of that in here and fade that out. And now of course we know, since this one's over top of this one, we're going to have a little bit of shadow in here too. So I am going to add that, even though the watercolor crayon wasn't darker there. But for the most part, I'm letting the watercolor crayon dictate where my darker colors are going. So that's kind of how I've been doing that. And I'm not going all the way to the edge with the lightest of these. But what I have been doing is I've been taking my Caran d'Ache blender, and because there's a decent amount of difference between my lightest pencil and the color I used for the base layer in the watercolor crayon. So I'm taking this and I'm just using this just to pull some of that lighter color out and make that more of an even transition. Just like that. And that's all I'm doing. That's pretty much it. So that's what we're gonna do. Luna. So just work on a few of these together, and then I'll go and set some to music. Sorry about my cat. She's looking out the window and there's another cat out there. So she's making some funky meowing noises. Some days she's more vocal than others. Orange Kitty is outside. And a lot of times when I'm at home and it's not nighttime, it's not dark out, I'll leave my front door open, and so when Orange Kitty's out there, they can kind of see each other through the door, and they'll kind of like play at the door with each other. So like one of them will pounce up on the door and different stuff. I don't know, but the door is not open right now since I'm filming. I'm gonna scoot this over because I'm gonna do this little leaf in this koala's mouth. But so since my door's not open, instead of being at the door trying to play with the other cat, she is on the cat tower looking out the window talking to him. I wanted to make sure that there wasn't any more noise than necessary while I'm filming. So anytime I go to film, I keep my door closed. There's a lot of traffic goes by and stuff, and just to reduce as much of the noise as possible. I'm gonna take that right in there. There we go. So I got the one done in his mouth. And we're gonna do the rest of these, or at least a few more of them together. And then we will, I'll speed it up and do some more sped up, and then do the other 5 million off camera. So far, I'm liking how this page is looking, and I've really been enjoying coloring it, so I'll be this one, it's a little bit darker in here, down this way, so. And then I am gonna go along the center stem, or vein. I like when I'm doing a page that has a lot of the same kind of leaves on it, I like to try to vary them up. It, for one, helps keep me from getting super bored with them, and for another, I just like the way that it looks when they're not all exactly the same, because no two leaves ever quite look exactly the same, so that's how I like for my coloring to be as well. Okay, and again with the blender, I'm just gonna go over all of this. Give me just a moment, guys. Alright, sorry about that, guys. So, let's see, this side. And then a little bit in here. There. Kind of like that. Alright. A bit more of that. And we're going to take our blender and just pull that out a little bit. Just a little. This one, just going to do a little bit right there. And this one just a tiny bit along this edge right here. Just a tiny bit. Okay. There we go. I'll do these last two leaves, and then again I will go off camera and do most of the rest of it off of camera, but I will do a little bit more sped up and set to music. A little bit. Let's see. Here. So I'm gonna stop here, and I'll do a little bit more set to music, and then I'll finish the rest on my own. See you in a minute. Okay, so I've got all the leaves done, and I'll be honest with you, it's the next day. It took me hours to finish all these leaves, but I'm back, and we're gonna do the koala bear now. I think we're gonna do the baby koala bear, and then I'll go off camera and I'll do the bigger koala bear on my own. And that's mainly just because I've already done the ears on the mama koala bear. I got a little carried away when we finished our stream the other night, and I just started on the ears without thinking about the fact I was planning on filming it. So yeah. So we'll get started and we'll do the baby, and then like I said, I'll go off camera and I'll do the mama as well. So or get her finished, and then I'll come back on and let you see the finished result. So for excuse me, for the koala bear, I have I'm using the Posca pencils, and it is essentially the black, all the grays, and the white, but it is numbers 24, 61, 37, 23, and 1. And I'm just using the black for the darkest areas after I'm done, to give it just a little bit more depth. And then but yeah, so we'll get started. I'll zoom you in and we'll get going and get this done. Let's see, move my coffee so I can move the book a little. There we go. All right, so for the koala, now I'm not the best at fur and flicking fur in, but that is what I was doing on his ear, on the mama's ear, her ear. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so I just gave all my pencils a quick little sharpen, because you're gonna want, if you're gonna do any flicking, you're gonna want it, your pencils to be sharp. So I'm gonna start over here on the little one's ear. This is 61, and I'm just kind of flicking in the direction that these lines are going, that Kerby's drawn in, and I'm just focusing this color where it's the darkest. And then I'm gonna go to my next color, which is 37. I'm gonna go over top of what I did there and extend it, make the line a little bit longer. And then 23. Try to fill in the rest of this ear with that one. And then I'm gonna take the white, which is number 1, and I'm gonna go in here and just flick in some lines here and there, which aren't gonna show up 100%, but what I did up here when I was done with Mama's ear is I took my Posca, my white Posca, and went over and added some white lines in there so that they would show up a little better. So, excuse me. Whew. So, that's what I'm gonna do on the baby as well. And now I'm just gonna take the black and just right there where it first starts to come out is where I'm gonna put this. Just kind of like that. All right, and now I'll do the other side, same way. And of course, if you're not comfortable flicking, you could just color this in and it would look fine that way as well. I'm trying to get better at doing the flicking of fur, so I figured I'd give it a try. It might not look too great when it's done, and that's okay. That's okay. You know, it's all about learning and it's all about having fun. But I like learning new things, and I try to learn new things all the time in my coloring. Expand my skill set. I guess, in a way. Alright, and then I'm going to take the black and just a little bit right in here. And right in here. And I like that. And then I'm gonna do the whole head, and then we will use the Posca. But I don't want to do the Posca on his ear until I finish the entire head. So we'll move over here, and we've got fur coming up this way and fur going that way as well, and that way. So I'm going to start around his nose and just little short flicks. And it's gonna look like a hot mess, probably for a while. And it may stay looking like a hot mess. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not very good at the flicking. So I'm just mainly trying to put this in where I see the darkest colors. Okay, and then going to use number 37, which is my next darkest color. Go over that and bring that out. Just keep flicking. Yeah, he looks a little funky at the moment. All right, and number 23. We'll go over all of that. And then go to the edge. White. Just adding in a few flicks here and there. Oops, oops. Okay, and then I completely missed his little chin, so This is not the darkest, but the next to darkest, and just a little tiny bit. And then the lightest of the grays. And then the white. And the white kind of took over, didn't it? And that's okay. Just add a little bit more of this gray on there. All right. So now, let's see. See where I think I might need some more of this darker gray. And then I'm gonna take this, the darkest gray, 61, and start on his nose. Just little bitty, tiny, little bit. Now I'm gonna take the black and go where it's darkest on his nose. And put a little bit more up in here. And around. All around his little nose. Like that. And 37. $23. Okay. I think, yeah, because I'm still not quite happy with how that looks. I'll add in a little bit more over here. Alright, so I think we'll add some of this pasta now. Alright, so start around the edge of the ear. Just kind of flick in, and then just kind of every once in a while put a little line there, a little flick, If you put it down and you don't realize you realize that you don't like it, you can always use your finger to wipe it off. So, yeah. No, not as happy with the baby koala as I was with the mama koala. Her ears looked better, but it is what it is. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a little bit, I think, in here in places, just a little here and there. And then along the outside of his head. No, I don't like that. Nope. Okay. Still, I'm not liking that. I don't know what I'm doing here. Told y'all I ain't very good at that. The fur. Let's see, hold on a second. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to come back to that. I feel like I'm just making a mess. I like the way the other side came out much, much better. Anyway. Down here on his little chin. I'm gonna leave that for now. Anyway. Alright, so move on down here and do his little body, a little bit of it, and then I'll go off camera and do the rest on my own. Alright, so that. This is the darkest of my grays. Yeah. Again, just focusing it mainly where Kerby drew the darkest line work. And then a little bit here and there outside of that. Just because you're gonna have some variation in the tones of gray in his fur. So, okay, and then the next lightest gray. Go over what I put down and then come out from there and flick in some more. And then go over all that with the white. Put some white in all over. And add a little bit of the black and where the darkest color is. And do like that. And I'm gonna go back over it with these other ones as well and build that up more. Just realized that I missed all of this in here. Whoops. I did not throw that. That was not a throw. Before anybody says anything. Let's see. Okay, give me this because I went over the branch a little bit. There we go. And just fill that. Kind of like that. Alright, so there is that. And now let's take our Posca again and hopefully I won't make it look horrible this time with the Posca. I have noticed though that if you think about it a little too much, it ends up not looking quite right. So it's like better to not think about it and just do it. Alright, so there is our baby koala. Pretty much done. So, and that's how I'm gonna do mama koala too. So I'm gonna go off camera. Actually, not yet. Let's do his eyes, and then we'll go off camera and come back and I will show you the end result. But let's do his eyes real quick first. Now, I tried to look up koalas and see what their eyes look like, and from what I found, they tend to be kind of give me just a second, guys. All right, I'm sorry about that. So what I was saying was, when I googled images of koalas, and I looked at their eyes. Their eyes looked like they kind of had some black and some brown in them. So that's kind of what we're gonna do. I've already done one of them since I've been off camera. So I have in my Spirifarbens, I have black, espresso, and honey brown, which are a couple of the colors that we used in the trees. So I'm just gonna take the black, and I already went over where Kerby had drawn the pupil in with the black just to deepen that up a little. So now for his eyeball, I'm just gonna take the black around the edge a little bit, and then I'm gonna take the espresso and go over that, bring it in a little, and then the honey brown. This is a very small space, so it'd be a little challenging, but just like that. And we'll fix the whites of the eyes with a Posca. A little shine in the eye. Just like that. Alright, so I'm gonna go back off camera and finish up Mama Bear, and then I'll be back to show you what the whole thing looks like. I will see you in a little bit. Alright guys, so I have finished everything off camera, and this is the finished image. Oh, I hope you like that, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please do give me a thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, stay safe and happy coloring. Bye guys.